بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا ونبينا وحبيبنا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. Inshallah ta'ala, today we are going to continue our fiqh of fasting, inshallah, with a few quick questions on some of the things that we come to encounter during the day. A question comes is, am I allowed to make a frequent wudu? So not only to perform prayer, but rather, um, fasting makes me a little bit run down, a little bit tired. I'd like to refresh myself always with fresh wudu. Can I do this? The answer is yes. Why? What's the evidence? Is because wudu is an act of worship that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself allowed. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not put a cap on it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed it outside of prayer, meaning that throughout the year, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allowed us to have frequent wudu, even if we are not intending to pray. Just, you woke up in the morning, you prayed Fajr, you went back to sleep, and that's it for the Fajr prayer. But then you woke up again to go to work or to go to school. You don't have any due prayer at that time, but you wanted to refresh yourself and make wudu. The answer is yes. Second question is about swimming. Are we allowed to swim during the month of Ramadan, or take a shower or what? And the answer is yes. You can take shower, you can swim. You just need to be cautious, like you are cautious now as you are fasting, of having the water not to come down your throat. That's all, inshallah. So you might want to avoid diving or really heavily um, being underwater, so water doesn't really go into your throat, down your throat. A third question is about having, especially now when the weather is changing and a lot of people have dry lips, having lipstick on our lips. The answer is yes, no problem. You just again need to be careful not to swallow the material, because the material is made of ingredients. It's not nutritionist, so to be honest with you, it is not something that would invalid the prayer. You just need to have the habit of being careful not to swallow articles in your mouth and then down your throat. That's all. But if you do unintentionally, it should be absolutely fine, inshallah. Question number 4 uh, is about, in general, people who do not know the rulings. They do not know what really invalidates the prayer and what does not invalidate the prayer. So, what do they do? If, for especially for our brothers and sisters who came to this faith and to Islam, not knowing a lot of the rulings. So, what do they do? They just need first to learn the rulings, like anything. They understood how to become Muslims by saying the Shahada, of bear witnessing that there is nothing worthy of worship except Allah, and that Prophet Muhammad was the continuation of all prophets and the seal of all prophets and the prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They learned about that. They just didn't wake up and decided to say the Shahada. They learned the rulings of it. And then when they pray, they learn the ruling of prayer. And then when they want to fast, they learn the basic rulings of fasting. And some of the basic rulings of fasting would be, how do they get their fast to be intact, and what are the things that invalidates their fast. So when they learn this basic thing, they should be all fine. Beyond that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't ask from them to know the detailed rulings of every worship act. And the general rule would be, if they end up missing out on some of these rulings, then inshallah ta'ala it's forgiven according to to our scholars. Some other scholars say that they need to know enough of knowledge about fasting, of what invalidates and what does not invalidate. And if they actually do things that would invalidate the fasting, that they need to make up those days. Allahu Alam, it is out of ease and out of the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Since they've done their duty to know the basics, there should be all good. If they end up invalidating their fast or prayer beyond what are the basics knowledge of these rulings, then they should not be held accountable, inshallah. They should not repeat the worship. However, from that point on, they are knowledgeable now and they should not repeat the same mistake. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from you all. This is it for today, and inshallah ta'ala we will meet tomorrow. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.